Welcome to Nubiart Diary number 430 for the 5th of July 2020. Nubiart, a different perspective on the African world. Okay, first up is July promos, and we're going to start with The Experience by Lila Ikey. It's out now on RCA Records, Six Course Records, and In.Digg.Nation Collective. Now, Lila Ikey's 7-track debut EP is a deeply personal, soulful offering that delivers on all counts. It's a musical fusion of reggae, hip-hop and R&B on solid rhythms that allow her voice to shine, whether as vibrato, ethereal, or matching the dancehall stylings of those around her. Several of the tracks had been out on road already, such as the opener Where I'm Coming From, about her rise from Christiana in Manchester Parish, overcoming the objections of her mother who wanted her to pursue a more stable career as a teacher. But Lila Ikey loved her music and she was already producing and delivering dubplates before this release. The video has her returning home in glory to adoration from her neighbours, former school friends, family, and her mother, who is now her biggest fan. It closes with the words that sum up Lila Ikey's journey so far and into the future: humility, integrity, honour, courage. Solitude was a new track to us in which Lila Ikey makes it clear that all the hype is not going to faze her and she would rather focus on what she loves rather than running down materialism and letting spiritual vampires rob her of her energy. On I Spy, she opens up her heart to seek a prospective partner. Her falsetto voice, as on all the tracks here, matches the sentiment and sounds much more natural than the auto-tuned phoned-in vocals that are being passed off as sensual these days. This was produced by Izzy Beats, who also delivered Coffee's world-conquering toast. Lila Ikey's sisters-in-arms, Savannah, Jazzalise and Naomi Cowan, feature in the video and on backing vocals, so we can expect some output from some of them soon as part of the RCA deal. Still in the love mode, Stars Align is Lila Ikey's exquisite cut on the heavy one-drop rhythm used for her protege's Bout Noon. On Forget Me, Lila Ikey gets soulful as she goes through the pains of relationship breakdown due to her and her partner drifting apart. This tune sets up Second Chance on Dennis Brown and Aswad's Promised Land Love Fire, and it is as beautiful as its lyrics are vulnerable. You wouldn't touch this rhythm if you couldn't deliver. After 40 years, it still stops me in my tracks and makes me pay attention, and Lila Ikey gets right inside its essence as she pleads for her ex to give her a second chance. Thy Will closes the selection on a cut to the Taxi Gang's More Baltimore rhythm, which is just as effervescent as the preceding Love Fire, as Lila Ikey hails up the creator. The production throughout is solid and rootical with a strong nod to 80s foundation roots. The horn riffs on most of the tracks here are based on the Radication Squad and Aswad horn section charts, so it's all good. Next up, Congo Animal by Bantou Mentale is out now on the GlitterBeat Records. This is another 7-track EP, a burst of Afrofuturist sonics, a mix of ecstatic vocals, broken beats, subterranean bass and thunderous energy. Vocals and percussion are provided by Kubing Kabiye, backed by Chico's looped and sequenced guitar. The production is helmed by Dr. L in Dakar, who has been delivering tracks alongside the likes of Tony Allen in Bongwana Star and Les Amazons d'Afrique in recent years. The EP opens with the title track, which could be described as industrial Congotronics. The Forest Meets Disco Queen is an endless coda on a freaky disco groove. Kosala is a slinky apocalyptic number with a soundscape of squelches, bleeping, fizzing, whirring and whispering. Moto draws on the currently fashionable Afrobeat stylings with engines and traffic somewhere in the city's purr. The minor chords of Anaconda slither over tracks for the TikTok age, while some of the drum riffs hark back to those early 808 days. Mbonkatera takes us into Dubtronics territory. The closer is the self-referencing Mental Madness. It's not smooth listening, this Congo Animal, but it is insistent, demanding your attention and taking you on a journey from crowded Kinshasa to the forests and savannas to the industrial heartland and into the 2020s with its vision of lockdowns, protests, and the ever-present corruption and death. And for our July media, we're looking at the book Values of Adinkra Symbols by Adolph, Hilary, Agbo, which was published by Delta Designs and Publications. We picked this book up among a selection during our visit to the Manhia Palace Museum in Kumasi. This Adinkra edition is from a lecturer in the Department of Publishing Studies at KNOST. It looks at 54 of the Adinkra symbols, which is around half of those regularly used in design, proverbs, and the transmission of indigenous knowledge. The book is subtitled for artists, designers, craftsmen, teachers, students, and all who appreciate and use traditional symbols. In the main body of the book, each of the Adinkra symbols is given a page and then followed by name or theme in Akan and English, a proverb, the literal translation of the proverb, the meaning of the proverb, a bit more background, and then the moral values that it represents. In the second part of the book, 4 or 5 Adinkra symbols are grouped together and the proverbs create a poem on the themes of faithfulness, great ancestors, unity, betrayal, patience, mother, love, hope, and pretense. Gienami is probably the most famous of the symbols and means except for God. It symbolizes the supremacy of God, and the literal translation is the great creation originated from the unknown past. No one lives who saw the beginning. No one lives who will see its end, except God. The background to Gienami is that it is applied to the Supreme Creator, and therefore, in common with much of the African theology and cosmology, it is unspoken that it must be reverenced and worshipped. Supplications can be made through lesser gods, deities, and ancestors. The symbol is seen throughout Ghana, being the most popular for decorations and can often be seen printed on cloth or stamped on pottery. It appears in the love poem as the line, "Love comes from God, therefore no one can break it apart." Values of Adinkra symbols is ideal for daily reflection and as a basis for ethical teaching while providing a vivid insight into the culture in which they are central. Okay, let's move on to lyrics and spirits. O ye gods of the underworld, who set yourself up against me and who resist the mighty ones, the stars which never set have led me on my way. And that's from chapter 78 from the Papyrus of Ani. The 2 poems we're going to deliver give an insight into historical racism in Britain, and they both appeared on the mixtape 92 Licks Rough Raw Mix, which came out in 1992. Okay, so the first poem, Silver, Black, and Still Blue.
Truth hard to accept. You only respect me, do you expect of me? You find the truth hard to accept. You only respect me, do you expect of me? Walking down the street, walking down the road, I live my life though I carry heavy load. Walking down the lane, alley, avenue, street. Want to give love to the good people I meet, but you find the truth hard to accept. You only respect me, do you expect of me? You find the truth hard to accept. You only respect me, do you expect of me? If I could only get started, I might could surely prosper. But life's daily problems and give me too much bother. What have I, man, done to deserve all this strain? All men know say the runnings of the gone, time and time again. But you find the truth hard to accept. You only respect the little you expect of me. You find the truth hard to accept. You only respect the little you expect of me. Walking down the street, walking down the road, I live my life though I carry heavy load. Walking down the lane, alley, avenue, street. Want to give love to the good people I meet, but you find the truth hard to accept. You only respect the little you expect of me. You find the truth hard to accept. You only respect the little you expect of me. When I walk down the road, all my life I carry heavy loads. So don't watch this and don't watch that. A big fish, a sprat, a sprat. Oh yeah, musical murder. Come on now, let me tell you, it is murder. Musical murder. Little further. You have witness from here, witness from far.
First degree murder. Absolutely bombastic.
Witness them
18
coming
minutes
in them
past
bus
out,
and
8 o'clock.
car.
And when music is nice, you go for a version excursion.
Whoa, people brethren are a long time in a see. Long time man, I will say come down star. Forward I are, come down. Them blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me. White people, them are all come blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me. Them a treat me like the devils prick me, and cough in my face, and spit at my feet, and watch with venom as I shop on the street. I can't get a job, I get the worst housing, and treat me like a criminal on the underground. If they no blank me, then one blackmail me, to give them wealth and strength, or else they jail me. They want to carve me up, they wish I was dead. From 14 tries them drop a TV upon my sister's head. So them blank me, blank me, blank me. White people, them around, come blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me. Them a treat me like the devil's prickling me. Why them want all I have? The gifts in its natural selection with a stiff upper lip. When them want diamond, copper, rubies and gold. Our families labor and our souls. Them a vex me and perplex me. Them must a want me go anorexically. Them a stress me and distress me. To try and test me for the search prize now. So them blank me, blank me, blank me. White people, them a run from blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me. Them a treat me like the devil's picking me. Them blank me, blank me, blank me. White people, them a run from blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me. Them look like me stuff and burn already. Them blank me total, them blank me full time. So I commit and was considering no crime. Them want test, always never stop try. No matter that I tell them I'm not that kind of guy. Some come and say them a roughneck. Some call themselves the ragamuffins. Some act jumpy and talk about them buffy, but that don't stop them from get a blanking. Cause them blank me, blank me, blank me. White people, them are wrong, come blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me. Them a treat me like the devil's picking me. Them blank me, blank me, blank me. White people, them are wrong, come blank me, blank me, blank me, blank me. I just got me stuff and then I like the sun of blank me now.
And that one was written in June 1989, and it was first published in African Science for the Massive, Meditations on the 3 R's, Race, Religion and Relationships, back in 1995. Okay, so we've come to the end of this podcast. If you want to get in touch with us, it's Kubara Zamani, African Quest, PO Box 35165, London SE5 8WU. The email, africanquest1@hotmail.com, and Twitter @Nubiart Diary. And we'll just end by saying talk sense, or it don't make sense you talk.